What is scrying? A visual form of divination using reflective surfaces. Welcome back. I'm Adeline Atlas, 11 times published author, and this is the Mirror Mirror series, where we explore the history, technique, and spiritual impact of mirrors as tools of divination, perception, and dimensional access. In the last teaching, we explored what divination is, its definition, its global function across ancient societies, and why it remains a foundational technology of the soul. Today, we zoom in on one of the most specific and visually powerful forms of that practice, scrying. Scrying is a form of visual divination that uses reflective, translucent, or luminous surfaces to receive symbolic or energetic information. The word scry comes from the Old English descry, meaning to see dimly, or to reveal. But the act of scrying is far older than the word. Across civilizations, cultures, and magical systems, scrying has always served the same function, to allow the practitioner to see what the physical eye cannot. This could include future possibilities, hidden truths, spiritual messages, energetic blockages, or unseen entities. What makes scrying different from other forms of divination is that it's vision-based. It bypasses symbolic systems like cards, bones, or runes, and opens a direct perceptual channel. The scryer sees and must learn to interpret what appears through trained symbolic literacy, spiritual discernment, and energetic regulation. So, how does it work? The practitioner begins by entering a light trance or altered state of consciousness, achieved through breathing, focus, repetition, and stillness. This state is crucial. If the mind is busy, if the nervous system is unsettled, the surface won't respond. Or worse, it will reflect confusion back. Once the practitioner is properly centered, they place their gaze onto, or more accurately, into, the chosen surface. That surface might be water, obsidian, crystal, polished metal, dark glass, or even a candle flame or cloud bank. It must have one of three qualities: reflectivity, depth, or motion. These qualities allow the consciousness to detach from literal vision and enter symbolic perception. What's important to understand is that the visions seen during scrying are rarely literal images. They may begin as shadows, ripples, colors, temperature shifts, eye pressure, or subtle flashes. Over time, and with enough calibration, the practitioner may begin to receive full forms: faces, scenes, sigils, landscapes, or movements. But unlike a hallucination or dream, these visions arise inside the mirror field, not the mind's eye. They are relational, not imagined, meaning they come in response to the practitioner's intention, question, or energetic request. They are shaped by what you ask, how you ask, and what part of yourself is asking. That's why in advanced mirror work, the quality of the scryer matters more than the quality of the surface. Now let's speak historically. Scrying is not modern. It didn't appear in the occult revival of the 1800s or during the New Age boom of the 1970s. Scrying is as old as written record, and possibly older. In ancient Mesoamerica, obsidian mirrors were used in temples and royal courts to receive visions, contact ancestors, plan military action, and read timelines. These mirrors were made from volcanic glass, black, naturally reflective, and energetically active. They were often charged with ritual, placed near altars, and approached only after purification. The priest or sorcerer would gaze into the dark surface until the image emerged, not their own face, but a message from the unseen. In ancient Egypt, water scrying was practiced by dream seers and temple priests. Bowls of water were placed under moonlight or star alignment, and seers would enter trance states to receive messages on personal fate, harvest timing, or spiritual cleansing. The water, often infused with oils or herbs, acted not only as a mirror, but as a conductor. The Egyptians believed that water held memory, and that still water, undisturbed and intention-charged, could reflect the higher order of divine will. In Greco-Roman mystery cults, scrying was used in oracular sanctuaries. The Delphic oracle at Delphi is often remembered for her trance speech, but lesser-known practices involved reflective bowls or polished surfaces through which initiates attempted to see their destinies. In Roman magic, hydromancy, divination through water, was common, and bronze mirrors were often used in tandem with sacred incantations. In Islamic esoteric tradition, the practice of zajr, gazing into polished objects to receive insight, is recorded in medieval texts. And in Sufi mysticism, mirrors are seen as metaphors for the soul. The more polished and purified the heart, the more divine truth it reflects. In the Yoruba tradition, while Ifa divination is often symbol and pattern-based, there are also mirror-like reflective techniques used by certain priesthoods to determine spirit interference. In East Asia, mirrors were placed in altars and used for geomantic inspection, known as feng shui, where the surface of the mirror would reflect not just energy, but the harmony or disharmony of a space. Even in Christian history, scrying is present, though often buried or rebranded. Medieval monks recorded luminous visions received through flames, chalices, or polished metal. The mystical branch of Christianity known as apophatic theology focused on seeing the unseen, not as metaphor, but as direct experience. And of course, the Renaissance magician John Dee famously used a black obsidian mirror, given to him by a Spanish conquistador to receive angelic communication. His writings describe weeks of mirror gazing in which visions were dictated by ethereal beings, recorded meticulously by his scribe, and used to guide political and spiritual decisions in the court of Queen Elizabeth I. So what makes the mirror so uniquely suited for scrying? First, the mirror is dimensional. It gives the illusion of depth. Even a flat mirror creates the sense of entry, of seeing beyond the surface. Psychologically, this tricks the brain into entering a nonlinear state of awareness. You're no longer just looking, you're entering. This opens access to inner vision and symbolic cognition. Second, the mirror is responsive. Unlike cards or runes, which follow a fixed spread or pattern, the mirror evolves in real time. Its behavior is reactive. If your energy shifts, the reflection may distort. If your intent deepens, the field may open. If interference enters the space, the mirror may darken or flash. It's a live surface, more like a sensor than a symbol. Third, the mirror creates intimacy. When you gaze into it, your face disappears. What remains is presence. This forces you to confront what arises without distraction. Unlike divination methods that allow you to step back, scrying draws you in. It bypasses your conscious filtering system and speaks through image, movement, light, shadow, and sometimes even sound. Fourth, the mirror is amplifying. Whatever state you bring to it is reflected, mirrored, and sometimes magnified. If you're emotionally chaotic, it will multiply the distortion. If you're clear, it will stabilize the signal. This is why scrying is never just about the mirror. It's about the mirror paired with practitioner readiness. Scrying is not about conjuring ghosts or summoning entities. While some traditions do involve spirit contact, the real purpose of scrying is pattern perception. You're asking to see the shape of a situation, not just as it is, but as it's becoming. You're reading the tension between timelines, the density of intention, the feedback from the field. You're not predicting, you're perceiving. You are visually tracing the energetic structure of events or questions in a symbolic mirror. This is where training comes in. A beginner scryer may see nothing for weeks. Or they may misread flashes as prophecy. Or they may encounter interference and not know how to clear it. This is why traditional scrying systems included mentorship, ritual, and slow exposure. You weren't handed a mirror and told to go divine. You were taught how to stabilize your mind, how to control your breath, how to enter and exit the session, how to interpret what you saw, and how to close the gate behind you. Scrying was also protected knowledge. In many cultures, the mirror was covered, hidden, or only used during specific windows of time, such as eclipses, solstices, full moons, or ancestor days. These windows weren't arbitrary. They were chosen because the veil was thinner, the frequencies more receptive, and the risks, therefore, greater. Opening a mirror portal during a chaotic moment could attract forces you weren't intending to engage with. That's why traditional mirror rituals included cleansing the space, anointing the surface, invoking guides, and creating psychic boundaries. So what does this mean for modern practitioners? It means that scrying is not aesthetic. It is operational. It is not guessing. It is witnessing. And it is not casual. It is a psychic discipline, rooted in the body, requiring emotional maturity, symbolic literacy, and deep energetic respect. You cannot scry well if you treat the mirror like a toy. And you cannot trust what you see if you haven't trained the part of you that's doing the seeing. In this series, we'll cover specific techniques, surface types, preparation rituals, and common mistakes. But what matters most is that you now understand the role of scrying. It is a mirror-based act of visual divination. It opens symbolic perception through reflective depth, and it gives the practitioner access to information that is emotionally encoded, spiritually relevant, and often transformative. Scrying asks you to see differently, not with your eyes, but with your awareness. Not through effort, but through entrainment. Not through fantasy, but through trained receptivity. It does not deliver entertainment. It delivers architecture. And when used correctly, it is one of the most powerful ways to understand not just what is happening, but what wants to happen next. Hi, I'm Adeline Atlas. 11 times published author and School of Soul has just released one of our most requested deep dives, the Magic and Occult series. This series is not for the faint of heart. It's for those who know there's more going on beneath the surface, behind the media, behind the family, behind the system. This series breaks the spell and hands you the map. The Magic and Occult series includes over 200 videos on 1. Entertainment or ritual. Decoding mainstream media as mass spellwork. 2. Occult families. Spot them. How generational magic and ritual lineage hides in plain sight. 3. Occult symbolism. The signs, seals, and signals used to claim, curse, or command. 4. Esoteric symbolism. Layered meaning, sacred geometry, and encoded messages. 5. Law is magic. How contracts, courts, and language are rituals of power. 6. Spells and spirits. What magic really is, and what happens when you use it. 7. Covens and lodges. Where modern ritual happens, and who's involved. 8. Destiny swapping. How rituals steal timelines, talent, or soul contracts. 9. Energy harvesting. spiritual parasitism, and how to seal your field. 10. The clairs, your intuitive senses, clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsentience, and more. 11. Become magical, how to strengthen your gifts, protect your mind, and wield conscious force. 12. Miracles are real, divine intervention, faith portals, and supernatural reversals. 13. The chosen ones, what sets them apart and why they're always targeted. 14. The black sheep, the generational breaker, often isolated by design. 15. Targeted individuals, spiritual and technological targeting of aware souls. 16. Gang stalking, organized spiritual and psychological warfare. This is the most revealing, most spiritually advanced, and most protective series SOS has ever released. If you've ever felt something was off about this world, this will confirm it and prepare you for what comes next. Your protection begins with knowledge. Join the SOS School of SoS Vault.